Hi, Joni here. Pope Francis was wrong on Russia. That will be the topic of today's video. Pope Francis passed away not long ago. Rest in peace. He will be remembered for many things, including his humility but also his focus on social justice. He was someone who meant well and did many good things during his life. Unfortunately, the one thing where he was not so good was geopolitics. And being the Pope, he had a lot of influence and needed to comment on geopolitical issues. And that didn't always go very well for him. And he will unfortunately also be remembered for that, at least for those who support Ukraine. In today's video, I will mostly talk about his takes on Russia's war in Ukraine. Some of the material I used to make this video comes from Pekka Kallioniemi's Vatniksub thread on Pope Francis. It's a thread that is worth reading. You can find it on Twitter. And before I get to the video, for the Catholics watching this video, this is not an attack on Pope Francis or on the Catholic Church. As I said, Pope Francis did many good things in his life and meant well. And I respect everyone the same way, whether it's some random person walking on the street or the Pope. And I don't judge people differently whether they're dead or alive. If I can criticize politicians for their takes on Russia's war in Ukraine, I can also criticize the Pope. Being honest when talking about his legacy is actually showing respect to Pope Francis. And as you know, I'm not a specialist on Pope Francis or on the Catholic Church in general. But I know what he said on Russia's war in Ukraine, and I will focus on that during this video. Because even if he did many good things in his life, that wasn't one of them. So please don't get offended. I would call out anyone for saying the things he did. So let's get to the subject. Pope Francis was the head of the Catholic Church from 2013 until his death in 2025. When Russia launched its unprovoked full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Pope Francis first condemned it in 2022. But his good reading on this war did not last for long. In May 2022, he already suggested that the attack was somewhat provoked and that NATO was barking at Russia's door. In August 2022, when Daria Dugina was killed, he said that she was an innocent person paying the price for the war. But she was far from innocent. She was a Russian propagandist trying to legitimize Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In November 2022, he also defended his neutral take on the war in an interview. He also said many weird things during that interview. He claimed that it weren't traditional Russians who were doing the most cruel things during the war, but rather minorities such as Chechens, which is a weird and racist take. He also questioned if it was good for the West to arm Ukraine. He was being a useful idiot there. And these type of takes have massive consequences when they come from the Pope. In March 2023, he also claimed that the war was not only fueled by the Russian Empire. He was wrong. Russia wants to have its empire back, and that's the exact reason why Russia is invading Ukraine. That same month, Pope Francis also encouraged Ukraine to surrender. He said that the strongest is the side that has the courage to wave the white flag, which again is an insane comment. It's completely out of touch with reality. Russians are occupying parts of Ukraine. They are kidnapping Ukrainian children. They are re-educating some of them and sending them to fight against Ukraine. And they are torturing Ukrainian prisoners of war. Ukraine is facing a genocide and the Pope is telling them to surrender. And before complaining about my use of the word genocide, look up the definition of genocide. You will see that what Russia is doing to Ukraine fits the definition. People often tend to mix up genocide and war crimes. Russia is doing both in Ukraine. People also often don't understand that genocides are not about the number of deaths. You could have a genocide with no deaths at all. And you can also have a situation with many deaths and no genocide. Russia is working to erase Ukrainian statehood and Ukrainian identity. It's also trying to take away Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian traditions, and to rewrite its history. And Russia is kidnapping Ukrainian children, and it's doing an ethnic cleansing in places like Mariupol. Those who oppose the use of the word genocide on the war in Ukraine don't know what a genocide is or don't know the facts about the war in Ukraine. And Pope Francis was unfortunately one of them. And that wasn't the last stupid thing he said. In August of the same year, while talking to Russians, he praised their legacy and history without condemning the war in Ukraine. And those were just a few examples of what he said. Pope Francis was not very popular among Ukrainians because of those comments. And it's of course good to remember that he also had some decent comments from time to time. He criticized Kirill for being Putin's altar boy. And I truly doubt that the next Pope will be any better than Pope Francis. He will likely be worse. But Pope Francis still deserved criticism for his takes on Russia's war in Ukraine. What do you think? What do you think that Pope Francis will be remembered for? Should he have acted differently on Russia's war in Ukraine? Was he just blinded by his own biases, or was there some deeper reason for his comments? You know my take, but I want to hear yours. Write your thoughts in the comment section of this video. That was it for today's video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe and see you in the next video. Thank you.